Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't need this, I guess, on video. Welcome to our virtual commencement exercise. I'm sorry that we can't be here in person, but we certainly can be here in spirit. And if there's one thing I know about the class of 2020, it's you have a lot of spirit. We're going to try our best over the next couple of hours to pay tribute and honor to all of you who are in this graduating class. But as we do at the beginning of every public ceremony, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask, please, that you rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Before we go any further, I'd like to take a moment to honor those people who could not be with us today. Security guard Bill McGonigal has been an institution in Pine Bush for more than 20 years. As a young Marine, he protected our country. As a senior security guard, he protected our corridors and this class. His loss has ripped a hole in our social fabric and left many of us longing for his friendship. So, in honor of Bill and all the others that we have lost since last we met, I'd like us all please to honor them with a moment of silence. Thank you. You know, Bill's family could not have a normal funeral service for him because of the pandemic. In fact, there are people all across this land who have not been able to have the traditional ceremonies around funerals and burials because of our current public health crisis. I know that full well because it has touched a member of my family. My sister-in-law, Cindy, lost her mother in April to COVID. And like so many other COVID patients, her mother died alone. There's so much that we would have wanted to do for her, but none of us could attend any ceremony. In fact, Cindy and her siblings and the rest of us had to watch the graveside service on a video shot by a cousin. Only 2 family members were allowed at the graveside. The rabbi, the funeral director, the 4 grave diggers took up the other allotted number of folks who could be there that Maryland would allow at burial ceremonies. So I know what it is like to feel like you've lost something that's a very treasured tradition. But that's not something that is going to hold us back or keep us from moving forward. And if anything, the fact that this has happened to you in the last of your senior year means that this COVID crisis is something that you will be able to have stories to tell to your children and to your grandchildren. The coronavirus has changed everything. And though it's robbed us of this traditional ceremony, it cannot, should not, and must not rob us of the many memories that you've collected over the past 4 years here at Pine Bush High School. My first memories of you come from February of 2017 when I first arrived in Pine Bush. You were just beginning the 2nd semester of your freshman year. The musical that year, I think, was Ragtime, and I know the basketball team was finishing one hot season. You have many things that you've done over the course of this last 4 years that I remember, and I know that there are many things that you remember as well. I tell people often that I've come to know this class for its intelligence, its creativity, its resilience, and its spunk. So whether it's music or theater, art or sports, teachers or classmates, or other events and people that you have to remember, I hope that you will cherish those memories, hold those memories, recall them with one another again and again. No one can take them from you. We, the many adults who have traveled with you in your journey over not just the past 4 years, but for some of you, the past 12 or 13 years, have done everything we can to help prepare you and bring you to this point. In fact, you are the reason we exist. Everything we do has been designed to bring you to this point of earning your diploma. You, each one of you, are the reason that we exist. And though we've been here to guide and support you, believe me, we could not be more proud, and I know that your parents feel much the same. Still, for all the effort that we've done, your being here today is not our credit, it's yours. You've earned your right to be here. You've completed the homework, passed the tests, earned the credits that allow us to give you today your high school diploma. All of you have earned the most basic and yet critically important stage in your young lives. Your high school diploma is the key to everything else. Now, we set you free. Now, you go out from here into the world to make your mark. And whether you're going on to college, into the military, or into a job, an employment, whatever you do, you will forever be a member of the Pine Bush family. You are a reflection of everything that we have taught you and everything that we have tried to help you be to this point. And from this point forward, everything that you do will be a reflection on us. So we've done what we can to help you arrive to this point, but from this point on, I can only imagine the adventures that you're going to enjoy. And we want you to come back, not to be strangers, but to share with us those many adventures and achievements. Because this moment is so unique, and because this class and this year have been so unique, I wanted to do something entirely different for my speech to you today. So I'm going to end with a song. Sorry, no accompaniment. I'm going to have to do it a cappella. It's a song that was written by one of my favorite composers, Stephen Sondheim. He wrote it originally for a musical entitled Merrily We Roll Along. Very brief. The lyrics are called The Hills of Tomorrow. Originally, it began and ended that show. But later, the show would get rewritten over and over again, and the show would begin and end eventually with the sighting of Sputnik on a rooftop in New York City. But the song says what I want to say to you and what I want to inspire you to think about as you leave this place today. Behold the hills of tomorrow. Behold the limitless sky. Swing wide the gates to a world that waits. As your journey starts, behold, your hearts are high. Beyond the hills of tomorrow lie skies more beautiful still. Behold, begin, there are worlds to win. May you come to trust the dreams you must fulfill. Class of 2020, good luck and God bless.
Hello, class of 2020. I know many of you are disappointed because senior year did not turn out the way we had all hoped because of COVID-19. It took away our in-person graduation, our senior activities, and our social lives, but it has not stripped us of our achievement. After a journey of 12 years, we've finally done it. I know, it doesn't feel like it. There's no big parties, no big celebration, but let's face it, there's no more AP tests, no more SATs, no more high school. Before I continue on, I would like to thank all those who have helped us. I would like to thank faculty and teachers for supporting us whenever we needed their help. I would like to thank family members and friends for supporting us outside of school and ensuring that we always had the tools necessary for success. And lastly, I would like to acknowledge each individual student because without your hard work and determination, you wouldn't be here. Some of us may have procrastinated to the last second, and then rushed to write that essay or that speech the morning before it was due. And that was most of us. But we still did the work. We juggled schoolwork, familial obligations, sports, and clubs. Not to mention that throughout high school, we have all been confronted with our own individual struggles. But we overcame those, and we're going to get through this uncertain time too. As John Adams once said, every problem is an opportunity disguised. Now, sometimes we overcome our problems, but sometimes we fail. And that's okay, because we learn from both success and failure. Now, the journey we have been on together, not always on the same path, but always leading up to this moment right now, diverges. Some of us will go to college or trade school, others will go directly into the workforce, and others will fight for our nation in the military. Whatever you choose, personal struggles will always continue to pervade our lives. Now, I can't really tell you how to deal with that. I mean, think about it. I'm the same age as you guys. I'm only second in the class, not even first. So I'm going to refer back to someone wiser than I am. Now I'm going way back to 9th grade social studies, folks. To Confucius. He said, when it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals. Adjust the action steps. So never give up. Keep chasing your dreams, because you will likely succeed. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Good evening. The job of earning a high school diploma was not easy, and it certainly did not begin in the middle of March. This journey began almost 13 years ago, and your ability to be here today is proof that you and your classmates have the skills necessary to pursue your goals, passions, and dreams. Past generations have had to endure critical incidents which have helped to define us as Americans, and these incidents have changed how we operate as a country. This pandemic has forever changed the graduating class of 2020. You have been faced with a crisis not of your making, and unfortunately, the rites of passage that you rightly earned were taken away from you. We wish we could give you, your friends, your parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles the chance to hear your name called as you walk across the stage and receive your diploma. As Joyce Meyer stated, being negative only makes a difficult journey more difficult. You may have been given a cactus, but you don't have to sit on it. If you choose to see challenges as obstacles, a great deal of time and energy can be wasted with a negative mindset. You need to be mindful of your attitude towards life's challenges. If you have the right attitude, you'll be more willing to take risks that will make you successful. In our complex, fast-paced world, it is virtually impossible to act without taking a chance. Some decisions will result in success, and others will result in more challenges. Over the course of your lifetime, research has shown that your generation may have as many as 8 different careers. This will involve taking on new challenges and making difficult decisions. The class of 2020 will lead our country into the future, and here today are the next generation of scientists, doctors, police officers, lawyers, artists, engineers, teachers, writers, and business people. When you head off into the world, know that your story has not been written yet. And although the last chapter was not positive, you will have the ability through your life's work to write the rest of the book. Whatever path you pursue after high school, know that you have earned something that cannot be taken away by anyone, including this pandemic. You have earned your high school diploma, and it represents 13 years of your commitment to your education. In closing, when you question your plans for the future, find your own way. Don't settle for anything less than a life of passion, embracing possibility. Find your life's work, not just a job. Live the life you ought to be living, and remember, you will be always part of the Pine Bush family. Thank you. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce the class of 2020 honor graduates. Number 30, Julia Mance. Number 29, Christina Kardiakos. Number 28, Amelia Sherman. Number 27, Alexis Ayers. Number 26, Aaliyah Austin. Number 25, Nathan Jalazinski. Number 24, Melissa Torchio. Number 23, Mackenzie Caputo. Number 22, Robert Smith. Number 21, Salvatore Mecca Jr. Number 20, Austin Horinda. Number 19, Yadris Guzman. Number 18, Daniel Mondelli. Number 17, Carly Krizwicki. Number 16, Advika Patel. Number 15, Christy Chung. Number 14, Kyle Futrell. Number 13, Catherine Langlitz. Number 12, Tyler Landivar. Number 11, Mason Delicio. Number 10, Elizabeth Squilanti. Number 9, Ashley Parks. Number 8, Jenna Fiorentino. Number 7, Corey Irwin. Number 6, Mark Schomber. Number 5, Ellen Schoenberg. Number 4, Lauren Macchio. Number 3, Matthew Mansour. The salutatorian of the class of 2020, Cedric Raber. And the class of 2020 valedictorian, John Torpy. Congratulations on a tremendous honor. It is a tradition at Pine Bush High School commencement exercises for the principal to present awards for exceptional commitment to our schools and scholarship. 4 awards are being presented this evening, and they include 1 member of the community, 1 staff member, and 2 students. The first award is presented to a community member. To throw a party or host a major event requires a mind-boggling amount of dedication and work. To attempt this feat in changing and challenging circumstances requires even more gumption. As coordinator of the all-night graduation party, this community member has these qualities and then some. It is my pleasure to present this year's Principal's Award to Mary DuBois. Our next Principal's Award is presented to a faculty member. As a teacher, she was among the very first to pioneer co-teaching at the high school. She has worked across multiple content areas with multiple teachers and brought her dedication and talent with her wherever she went. As a faculty advisor, her passion for diversity and issues of equity have had a profound effect on us as individuals and also as a collective community. It is my honor to recognize Mrs. Arlene Santinello as a recipient of this year's Principal's Award. James Madison once stated that knowledge will forever govern ignorance, and people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power that knowledge gives. Our student recipients of this year's Principal's Awards have armed themselves with this power. They have respectively achieved the highest averages in the class of 2020. It is my pleasure to present the Principal's Awards to our valedictorian, John Torpy, and our salutatorian, Cedric Raber. Congratulations, class of 2020, on a well-deserved and well-earned honor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for participating in Pine Bush High School's first ever virtual graduation. These last 4 months have been tough. I personally have not seen any of my teachers since March. I've only seen my friends a handful of times, and my teammates and I had our baseball season abruptly ended after only 3 days of practice. I know all of you have been facing similar disappointments. The cancellation of ball, the senior trip and picnic, the spring musical, concerts, and senior sports seasons. Everything that makes senior year, senior year. And the truth is, no matter how terrible it seems, we cannot do anything to change what has happened. It is now a part of our history. But tonight, we have a mission. We must not allow 4 months to overshadow 4 years. Class of 2020, right now, I want you all to just take a moment and think about the past 4 years. About the people you met, the friends you made, the good times, the successes, the hard times, the failures, and how you overcame, are overcoming, and will overcome them all. Hold that all in your mind for just a second. I hope right now you're realizing that in these 4 years of high school, you weren't perfect, you made mistakes, but you also had some of the greatest times of your young lives. You went on a field trip to Boston. You sang in your first high school musical. You played in the Section 9 championship game. You worked, you studied, you played, you laughed, you cried, you failed, you struggled, and you conquered. You lived, and all in just 4 years. Now think about this. We are 17, 18 years old. Do you realize how many more 4 years we have left in our lives? No, Mrs. Morton, please do not take out your calculator. The answer is a lot. That's that many more people to meet, that many more friends to make, that many more good times and successes to enjoy, and that many more hard times and failures to overcome. That much more life to live. But we're not going to talk about that today. That's the future. And I'm pretty sure you all, like me, have already spent more than enough time this past year thinking about that. So let's talk about it right now. We're graduating. Maybe not like we expected, but at least we'll have a cool story to tell when our grandkids are studying the coronavirus pandemic in history class. Wait, that's the future, my fault. Anyway, we are graduating. We're going off to big universities, the military. Hold on, I'm doing it again. One more try. Right now, at this exact moment, we are all gathering for this virtual graduation, and tomorrow we will be celebrating in a parade from Circleville to the high school. Tomorrow, the future. Do you see how easy it is, how fast it happens? That's how comfortable we as human beings are with letting the present moment slip between our fingers as we set our gaze always on what is a few steps ahead. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing bad about being excited for what's to come. Think about yourself as a little kid on your birthday, and imagine how quickly much of the joy and excitement of the day would disappear if you weren't allowed to anticipate your gifts. And there's definitely nothing wrong with being prepared, planning ahead a little bit. That's how we all made it to this special day today. All I'm saying is that life is fast. We have all seen that these past 4 years, and there's so much of it to live in each present day, in each present moment. Why live these moments with 1 foot here and 1 foot somewhere off in the distance? I can already hear the answers. Because I'm unsure how to tell my best friend that I won't be able to come to her graduation party next weekend. Because I'm worried I won't be able to make new friends after high school. Because I'm afraid that when my parents drop me off at college, I might cry in front of everyone. Uncertainty, worry, and fear. That's all trying to live in and understand the future will ever bring. So, my fellow graduates, on this unprecedented day in which we graduate from high school from our own homes, I will not offer you an unprecedented plan or piece of advice that will ensure success for the rest of your lives. Trust me, I spent a long time working on this speech, but not that long. But don't worry, I think I have something even better than a master plan for life. I have an alternative. An alternative to living in and trying to understand the future. Here it is. Each day, above all the goals and plans that you want to accomplish, ask of yourself only one thing. Make sure I am the best I can be right now in this very moment. What do I need to do right now to be happy, productive, and a shining example of simple goodness to all those around me? In this present moment, how can I make myself proud of who I am? As someone who has always tried their best to live this way, I can promise you, when you take this alternative, when you ask this of yourself, when you have the courage to overcome all the doubts and fears trying to rip you from the present moment, your life will be changed. You will find a vividness in each moment that had been lost to you when you had 1 foot stuck in the future. And you will realize that you just don't have the desire to worry about the future anymore. Because at that moment, when you are lost in the joy of the present, you will know that everything you want and everything you need is right there in front of you. And all those things that you were thinking about, stressing over, it's crazy. But when you just commit to the present and let those things go, they come back to you in amazing ways. In this way, living for the now truly is a magic trick. Class of 2020, I said I wasn't going to talk about the future today, but I also wasn't planning on having a 6-month summer vacation. Things happen. I challenge all of you for all the next 4 years of your lives to be magicians. As you meet those new people, make those new friends, enjoy those new successes, and overcome those new failures, keep 2 feet in the present moment. Be your best and be proud of who that best you is. And always, always, my fellow graduates, keep an eye on the magician's hat. Because when you reach into that hat by losing yourself in life's every moment, you never know what blessing you're going to pull out. To all of the parents, siblings, teachers, coaches, and anyone else who has supported us all in our journey to this day, on behalf of Pine Bush High School senior class, thank you. To my friends and teammates, I have enjoyed every moment of my time in high school, and it was all because of you. Thank you. And finally, to the entire graduating class of 2020, congratulations on this remarkable achievement. I wish you all happiness, health, and safety for all time. Class of 2020, we have fulfilled our obligations as students at Pine Bush High School. Now, please join me in turning our tassel and graduating from high school. Thank you and good luck.
Mr. Christopher Accorso, Ms. Jennifer A. Acevedo, Ms. Ayana Acosta, Mr. James Acton, Ms. Antonia R. Adapietro,
I would like to thank my friends and family for all their support, and I can't wait to attend Norwich University in the fall.
Ms. Kainat Afzal, Ms. Medea Afzal, Mr. Johnny Aguilar, Mr. Dennis Amatai,
I graduated. Yeah, let's go. Thank you, teachers. Thank you. Without you, I couldn't have done it.
Mr. Aaron J. Alba Garcia, Mr. Joelvis Alcantara Jr., Mr. David Alsanat, Mr. Richard J. Algarin, Mr. Juan Carlos G. Almanzar Joaquin, Mr. Antonio H. Emilio, Mr. Zaquan D. Anderson, Ms. Maria J. Angelino, Ms. Brianna Armstrong, Mr. Thomas Askey, Mr. Angelo J. Aurelis, Mr. Neil D. Aurelis, Ms. Aaliyah J. Austin, Ms. Alexis E. Ayers, Ms. Gianna C. Babcock, Mr. Brennan A. Basello, Ms. Maggie Baer, Mr. Jack Bockley, Mr. Gregory Bandura, Ms. Gracie N. Barbera, Mr. Hunter Barden, Ms. Sydney Barone, Mr. Brian T. Barrett, Mr. Ian M. Barth, Ms. Chandani B. Besteo, Ms. Lauren A. Battle, Mr. Xavier T. Barenfind, Mr. Nicholas Beaulieu, Mr. Ryan Bell, Mr. Taylor Biggs, Ms. Soni R. Bipat, Mr. Jacob Blochwitz, Mr. Adam Bloomrath, Mr. Anthony Bonich, Ms. Deja Bono, Mr. Mason L. Bowen, Ms. Erin C. Boyle, Mr. Kevin Brown, Ms. Alicia B. Brunson, Ms. Desiree E. Burgess, Mr. Charlie L. Bird, I never would have made it without you. Ms. Isabella I. Caban. Mr. Christopher Kane. Ms. Abigail R. Caldwell. Mr. Joseph Callis. Ms. Haley M. Caputo. Ms. Mackenzie Caputo. Mr. Joseph Caraselli. Mr. Raphael Carrion. Mr. Matthew Cerniglia. Mr. Anthony C. Chan. Mr. D'Angelo Chase. Ms. Gianna Cherubini. Ms. Christy Chung. Mr. Nico G. Citronidi. Ms. Anika E. Clark. Mr. Dylan Klein Larson. Mr. Trent Klein Larson. Ms. Marina C. Colon. Ms. Kayla Consolo. Ms. Aaliyah Constant. Mr. Darian W. Cook, Jr. Michael A. Cooper, Jr. Mr. Xavier S. Corcoran Pereira. Mr. Cody Kosh. Mr. Andrew Coulter.
I know this was not the graduation that we all wanted, but thank you for everyone that pushed me to get here, and let's graduate.
Mr. Daniel A. Cragan. Ms. Alexandria D. Cuevas. Ms. Jalen A. Cuevas. Mr. William Dane. Mr. Ryan M. Daniels. Mr. Dylan Davies. Ms. Miava Davis. Mr. Nathaniel B. Davis. Mr. Joseph K. De Leon. Ms. Amy DeSena. Ms. Elizabeth DeKai. Mr. Daniel J. Decker. Mr. Brandon De Jesus. Mr. Blake De La Cruz. Mr. Mason R. Delicio. Mr. Sebastian Del Monte. Ms. Allison Demetris, Ms. Lindsay Deretchen, Mr. Zachary I. Deutsch, Ms. Haley Dixon, Jonathan Zachary Dillon, Ms. Emily G. Domino, Ms. Riley Dimsey, Mr. Matthew N. Disclafani, Mr. Colin M. DiTuro, Ms. Savannah Donaldson, Ms. Angelina E. Donato, Mr. Jathniel Dorful, Mr. Brandon M. Doty, Mr. Joshua D. Doty, Mr. Colin E. Dubois, Mr. Matthew R. Dubois, Ms. Layla Dudley, Mr. Garrett Eckert, Ms. Elena Edwards, Mr. Lenny J. Elzey,
Congratulations, Lenny.
Ms. Kiana J. English, Ms. Donisbel M. Espinoza Moreno, Ms. Marlene S. DeVerney, Ms. Kemi D. Etienne, Mr. Scott Faviccia, Mr. Carl Felkel, Ms. Kira Ferguson, Ms. Alicia T. Fernandez, Ms. Jenna Fiorentino,
Here's to new beginnings. Class of 2020!
Mr. Michael T. Fisher, Mr. Robert M. Flood, Mr. Demoy A. Forbes, Ms. Maya H. Forbes, Ms. Caitlin J. Formosa, Mr. Andrew Fox, Mr. David J. Franco,
I'd like to thank my family and teachers for helping me get through high school to graduate.
Ms. Madison Frank, Ms. Adina Fredenberg, Mr. Connor Futrell, Mr. Kyle S. Futrell, Mr. Stephen H. Gage, Mr. Angelo Galasso, Ms. Veronica S. Gallagher, Ms. Kathleen M. Gang, Mr. Zachary N. Gelman, Mr. Aidan M. Gentile, Mr. Christian T. Gibson, Mr. Liam K. Gillespie, Ms. Carly R. Gomez, Mr. Anthony Gonzalez Martinez, Mr. Jack A. Grabowski, Mr. Jaden A. Gradnigo, Ms. Alexis A. Greer, Mr. Andrew M. Greer, Ms. Jordan E. Gribben, Mr. Trevor Griggs, Mr. Sean G. Goulamarian, Mr. Benjamin P. Gutierrez, Ms. Dilana A. Gutierrez, Mr. Matthew Gutierrez, Mr. Tyler Guttridge, Ms. Yadaris Guzman, Mr. Christopher Hall, Mr. Connor J. Hannington, Mr. Matthew P. Hansen, Ms. Ariana S. Hart, Mr. Thomas P. Hartnagel, Mr. Kahim J. Henderson, Mr. Cole R. Henschel, Ms. Natalie Heredia, Mr. Alexander Hicks, Mr. Ryan T. Hiller, Mr. Kenneth A. Holland, Ms. Christiana E. Horos, Mr. Luke C. Horton, Ms. Cameron M. Howell, Mr. Austin Hrinda, Ms. Samantha R. Hoofcut, Mr. Gabriel D. Ilioyu.
Oh, hi guys, Gabe here, the class clown, as you may know. I'd like to thank all my teachers, friends, and my parents for all your help. Thank you for everything. Congratulations, everyone.
Mr. Xavier Irizarry, Mr. Corey Irwin, Mr. Prime Isaacs, Ms. Anaya M. Jackman, Ms. Cassandra E. Jackson, Mr. Nathan E. Jalozinski, Mr. Riley M. Janke, Ms. Crystal R. Jaquez.
I'd like to thank my family and teachers who supported me and helped me out through all 4 years of high school.
Ms. Medina Jasovic. Ms. Solvay Margreta A. Jensen. Mr. Elijah Q. Johnson. Mr. Nicholas A. Johnson. Ms. Dataya L. Jones. Ms. Robin Jones. Ms. Taylor L. Jones. Ms. Catherine L. Jonigan McGar. Ms. Lydia G. Jordan Carson. Mr. Tyler L. Joy. Mr. Nicholas Cars. Ms. Angelina N. Call. Mr. Aidan Kane. Ms. Cheyenne N. Kane. Ms. Christina M. Kania.
Ready? Yeah.
Ms. Christina Karadiakos. Mr. Thomas J. Castle. Mr. Brendan J. Keegan. Ms. Caitlin Keegan. Mr. Kurt Kelly. Mr. Ronald S. Kelson. Ms. Cara E. Kempter. Ms. Jessica Kekai. Mr. Liam D. Kerwin. Ms. Isabel S. Kramers. Ms. Carly F. Krzwicki. Mr. Tyler K. Landivar. Ms. Kathleen L. Lane. Mr. Kevin T. Lane. Ms. Catherine A. Langlitz. Mr. James Lawless, Jr. Mr. Tyler Lazier. Mr. Liam J. Lenahan. Ms. Olivia R. Lenza. Ms. Francesca D. Lerbor. Mr. Antonio P. Levato Jr. Mr. Hong De Liu. Mr. Nicholas Lomangino.
Thank you to all my friends and family and my teachers for giving me the right to graduate.
Mr. Anthony J. Lopez.
Hey everyone, I did it. Through hard work, determination, and support of my family, God, and my teachers. Thank you so much, and congratulations to Class 2020.
Mr. Brandon Lopez. Ms. Devore E. Lopez. Ms. Catherine E. Lorenzen. Ms. Danielle Lugo.
On this special day, I want to thank my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, and my Uncle Andrew for always being there for me. I love you with all my heart. We did it!
Mr. Collin Lumley.
Penn State down by 1, 4 seconds left. Here's Claxton, drives inside, the floater! Oh, he hit it! Penn State comes back to win it!
Ms. Kristen L. Mack. Mr. Jake M. Magsamen. Ms. Cora E. McGuffin. Ms. Basma Mahmood. Ms. Jenna M. Malcolm. Ms. Julia Mance. Mr. Anthony B. Maniza, Jr. Ms. Grace M. Manoy. Mr. Matthew Mansour. Mr. Michael J. Moraldo. Ms. Michaela T. Marner. Mr. Charles M. Marshall. Ms. Grace Martini. Mr. Ryan J. Martyr. Ms. Caitlin Matney. Ms. Samantha Mauricio. Mr. Francis J. Mazzella.
Thank you, all my friends and family who have supported me up to here. I would not have made it even this close without you guys. Whoosh.
Ms. Kaylee M. McBath. Mr. T.K.S. McCarty. Mr. Caleb McDermott. Ms. Dinasia G. McDonald. Mr. Justin B. McDuffie. Mr. Brendan M. McGovern. Mr. Daniel A. McGuire, Jr. Ms. Christine V. McKnight. Ms. Emily J. McLean. Mr. Desmond A. McNabb. Ms. Kayla McNamara. Mr. Salvatore S. Mecca, Jr. Ms. Riley E. Meyer. Mr. Gregory G. Michaels. Mr. Isaiah J. Michelle, Ms. Shannon Miller, Mr. Connor Mills, Mr. Justin Mills, Mr. Nicholas A. Mira, Mr. Roger L. Mitchell III, Ms. Lauren E. Macchio, Mr. Kieran Monahan, Mr. Daniel Mondelli, Mr. Santiago Montano Vasquez, Mr. Brannock Montgomery, Ms. Dolores Mora Tejeda, Ms. Layla G. Morocho, Ms. Deanna Munoz, Ms. Jaden Myers, Ms. Gianna L. Nazaro, Mr. Michael A. Nelson, Mr. Aidan P. Nemiroff, Ms. Jessica M. Nicosia, Ms. Danielle Norton, Mr. Mason G. Norton Lapsley, Ms. Chloe E. Nugent, Mr. Colin B. Nugent, Mr. Lorenzo Nunez, Ms. Courtney A. Obregon, Ms. Olivia O'Connell, Ms. Christy J. O'Hara, Mr. Aidan R. Oldfield, Ms. Emma E. Olivet, Mr. Vincent J. Otranto, Mr. Angelo C. Palumbo, Ms. Taylor E. Pennell.
Thank you to all my family and friends that helped me get here. Quarantine couldn't hold us back. Class of 2020, we made it.
Mr. Dylan J. Pantoya, Mr. Eric T. Parker, Mr. Adam C. Parker Chan, Ms. Ashley N. Parks, Ms. Advika P. Patil,
Congratulations, guys, we made it.
Ms. Savannah Polici, Mr. Jacob Pennings, Ms. Valentina Perea Escandon, Mr. Sean Perez, Ms. Taylor J. Perez, Ms. Zara A. Perry, Mr. Matthew D. Petrelli, Ms. Amanda Pishti, Ms. Catherine O. Polakowski, Mr. Damian M. Ponce, Mr. David J. Prano, Mr. Jalen E. Pratt, Ms. Jada L. Price, Ms. Chelsea Priest, Mr. Joseph Priest, Ms. Angelina J. Primello, Mr. Christopher J. Pritchard, Mr. Cedric F. Raber.
Real quick, I just want to thank my family, especially my mom and dad.
Mr. Vincent A. Raimondi, Ms. Zoe C. Ramalho,
How many shirts you get me?
Ms. Madison Ramdahal, Ms. Liliana Ramirez, Mr. Gregory J. Range, Mr. Michael R. Rierick, Ms. Sage Reisert,
1, 2, 3.
Mr. Mason T. Rena Kanicki,
Let's go, Mason.
Just move it.
Ms. Alexandra J. Rich, Ms. Dejana Richards, Ms. Sage P. Riddick, Mr. Cameron R. Rifflard, Ms. Kira Rifflard, Ms. Isabella R. Rios, Ms. Elisa F. Rivas Aguilar, Mr. Gavin L. Roberti, Mr. Mark Anthony Roberts, Ms. Sydney Robertson, Mr. Aidan J. Rhoda, Mr. Christopher Rodriguez, Mr. Dylan Rodriguez.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm so happy that I am graduating. Congratulations to all my friends that are graduating too. We did it! Pine Bush High School is the best.
Mr. Reese A. Rodriguez, Ms. Julia Rooney, Mr. Leonard J. Rosa III, Mr. Austin D. Rose, Mr. Andrew J. Roy, Ms. Tanira M. Rucker-Smith, Ms. Alize I. Ruiz,
Congratulations to the class of 2020. We finally made it and I'm so proud of you all.
Mr. Austin J. Russell, Ms. Lauren E. Russell, Ms. Pearlie Rise, Mr. Alfred Sanchez, Mr. Joshua A. Sanchez, Mr. Dominic L. Santana, Mr. Andres O. Santiago, Ms. Nicole B. Sarvis, Ms. Zara Sarwar,
Hi, I'm Zara Sarwar, and I just want to say a quick little thank you to all the teachers who've helped me get up until this point, and I'm so excited to start St. John's this fall.
Mr. Caleb M. Sheridan, Ms. Brianna L. Shields, Mr. Jack H. Schneider, Mr. Philip C. Schneider-Wiener, Ms. Ellen A. Schoenberg,
Hey, PB, you've been so good to me. Thank you for everything, Pine Bush.
Mr. Mark Schomber, Ms. Ava Schultz, Ms. Alyssa A. Scott, Ms. Angelica I. Salamoski, Ms. Allison Senor, Ms. Madison A. Serrano, Mr. Moises Serrano Arenas, Ms. Jillian Chavo, Ms. Amelia Sherman, Ms. Lorelei R. Siegel, Ms. Sabrina R. Sierpinski, Ms. Lena Silliman, Ms. Gianna M. Slavitsky, Mr. Chauncey T. Smith, Mr. Colby S. Smith, Mr. Robert M. Smith, Ms. Catherine N. Solis, Mr. Arjun A. Sumnarain, Ms. Maggie H. Sorge, Mr. John Spignardo, Ms. Molly Spotto, Ms. Elizabeth Squiante, Mr. Daniel D. St. Clair, Mr. Ryan M. Stacklam, Kayla Marie Steiger, Mr. William P. Steinert, Ms. Fiona Sullivan,
To my parents, grandma, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, family, teachers, and those who have passed in the US and Ireland, Gurmachus.
Mr. Lane T. Sullivan, Mr. Tyler Tarshis, Mr. Markel Thompson.
A special shout out to the teachers that helped along the way. Miss Foster, Miss Janko, Mr. Healy, Miss Petrowski, Miss Conklin, Miss Cashlin, and Miss Morin. Class of 2020 out.
Ms. Melissa A. Torchio, Mr. John P. Torpy,
Hey everyone, this is Jack. Good luck to all of you in the future. I hope you all have fun, enjoy yourselves, and keep working hard. Thank you.
Ms. Jasmine Torres, Ms. Litzy Torres Anzurez, Ms. Vian T. Tran, Ms. Peyton A. Travis, Ms. Caitlin A. Tulongo, Ms. Kayla L. Tyson, Mr. Aaron M. Ulatoski, Ms. Jillian Valdez, Mr. Brian Vantassel, Ms. Kalis Velasquez, Mr. Nathaniel Velasquez, Mr. Ethan Velez, Mr. Paul A. Viscardo, Jr., Mr. Tyler Vital, Mr. Marcelo Vizari, Mr. Brandon E. Wagner, Mr. Daniel J. Wagner, Ms. Lauren A. Wagner, Mr. Zachary D. Wall, Mr. Zavery M. Wall, Mr. Nicholas T. Wall, Ms. Megan A. Walters, Mr. Tyler Warren, Mr. Christopher L. Washington, Ms. Casey Webb, Ms. Rosanna Weber, Ms. Kristen L. Weed, Mr. Andrew J. Weronick, Mr. Kylan White, Ms. Raina R. White, Mr. Edward F. Wilkins II, Mr. Jabari Williams, Ms. Jaylani Williams, Ms. Cassandra L. Wilson, Mr. Justin Yeadon, Mr. Jacob Zoll, Mr. Joseph Zayas Hagan, Mr. Johan Zuniga,
Good evening, Mr. Maines. It is a great honor that I present to you the graduating class of 2020.
Thank you, Principal Hotmeyer. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Board of Education, we declare the class of 2020 now graduates. Let's give them a round of applause.